Everyone thinks we're in a new golden age. Record markets, booming tech, easy money. But what if I told you, we've seen this movie before? It's 1929 all over again. The same arrogance, the same bubbles, the same blind confidence, right before everything collapsed. And the scary part? The signs are everywhere, but nobody's paying attention. Everyone believes the economy is stronger than ever. The headlines say, record profits, unstoppable growth, historic highs. Politicians celebrate, analysts cheer, investors brag. But that's exactly what they said in 1929, weeks before it all came crashing down. Back then, the streets were filled with optimism. People were buying stocks on borrowed money, banks were lending to anyone who asked, and the newspapers called it a new era of endless prosperity. Sound familiar? Fast forward to 2025 and the script hasn't changed. The same blind confidence, the same dangerous leverage, the same belief that the rules of economics have somehow been rewritten. But history doesn't repeat itself word for word. It rhymes. The signs are there, hidden in plain sight. Rising personal debt, soaring corporate valuations, central banks quietly panicking behind calm press conferences. The smart money is already moving, quietly, strategically, while the rest of the world keeps partying. Because every boom has a breaking point. And when it hits this time, it won't just be Wall Street that falls. It'll be global, digital, immediate. Most people won't see it until it's too late. But if you're watching this, you're already one step ahead. Because once you understand how we got here, you'll see exactly how close we are to repeating the greatest financial disaster in modern history. And in the next few minutes, you'll see why the crash is already unfolding and what you can do before it's too late. Right now, everyone feels rich. The markets are up, crypto is recovering. Tech companies are hiring again. Social media is full of people bragging about easy money, flipping tokens, day trading, or chasing the next big AI stock. It feels unstoppable, just like it did in the late 1920s. Back then, they called it the Roaring Twenties, a decade of luxury, innovation, and endless optimism. People believed the world had outsmarted recession, that the stock market would rise forever. Sound familiar? Everyone wanted in. Families took loans to buy stocks. Taxi drivers were giving investment tips. Newspapers ran stories about everyday people becoming millionaires overnight. And when anyone questioned how sustainable it was, the experts laughed. This time is different, they said. But the truth, it never is. Behind the smiles and champagne, the cracks were already spreading. Debt was exploding, wages were stagnant. Banks were gambling with borrowed money. And the moment confidence slipped, even slightly, the entire illusion collapsed overnight. Now fast forward to today, the names are different, but the story isn't. The same blind faith, the same reckless optimism, the same illusion of endless growth. Everyone's celebrating the boom, while quietly, the system underneath is rotting. Because just like 1929, this new era isn't built on real wealth. It's built on borrowed time. And when the first domino falls, it won't just shake Wall Street, it'll take the whole world with it. In the next chapter, you'll see where those cracks are forming, and why the next shock might already be in motion. Every financial collapse starts the same way, with silence. Not the kind of silence you hear, but the kind that hides behind good news, record highs, and government smiles. Right now, that silence is deafening. Debt is everywhere, personal, corporate, national, but no one talks about it because everyone's addicted to growth. The system only works if the numbers keep going up. But here's the truth. Growth built on debt isn't growth at all. It's borrowing from tomorrow to survive today. Look around. The average household is drowning in credit card balances. Companies are rolling over loans just to stay afloat. Governments are printing and borrowing faster than ever, just to pay the interest on what they already owe. And yet, the markets keep rising, profits keep posting. Politicians keep smiling for the cameras. But deep down, the smart money knows what comes next. When everything, from your home to your job to your future, is built on borrowed money, it only takes one shock to bring it all down. A single interest rate hike, a wave of defaults, a sudden loss of confidence. That's all it takes. And when it happens, the crash won't start with a bang. It'll start with whispers. Quiet layoffs, tight credit. Small sell-offs, the same signs people ignored in 1929. The difference is, this time it's global. Every economy is connected. Every market is synchronized. Every fall triggers another. The first crack has already formed. Most people just haven't seen it yet, and in the next chapter, you'll see how one small domino, just like in 1929, could trigger the collapse of everything. Every crash starts with one small domino. In 1929, it was margin debt, investors borrowing more money than they could ever repay. When prices dipped just a little, those debts were called in, and the panic began. In 2025, that domino looks different, but the setup is the same. The world has been living on borrowed time. Years of zero interest rates made borrowing easy for everyone. People bought homes they couldn't afford. Companies expanded with money they didn't earn. Governments borrowed like there was no tomorrow. But then rates went up. And just like that, the fantasy started cracking. The cost of debt doubled. Consumers stopped spending, corporations started cutting. Markets began to wobble. You can feel it, can't you? The tension in the headlines, the layoffs creeping into every industry, the sense that something big is about to give. Behind the scenes, the biggest players, hedge funds, insiders, institutional money, they're already pulling out quietly. Selling early, moving to cash. Because they've seen this before. They know that once confidence breaks, the fall is instant. Stocks plunge, banks tighten credit. Panic spreads. It's the same chain reaction that wiped out fortunes in 1929. Only now it's faster, automated, and global. Algorithms don't panic, they just sell. Billions can vanish in seconds. And when that first domino finally tips, it won't stop until everything connected to it collapses too. But what happens after that, when the system itself begins to shake, is what truly changes everything. Because this time, the crash won't just destroy wealth, it could redefine money itself. It starts quietly, just like 1929. A few bad earnings reports, a dip in consumer spending, a temporary correction, the experts call it. But the markets don't listen to experts. One fund sells, then another. Then 1,000 algorithms detect the pattern and start selling too. Within minutes, billions vanish, the charts turn red. Social media fills with panic. News anchors repeat the same line, "Nobody saw this coming." But we did. We just didn't want to believe it. The dominoes fall faster now. Stocks crash, credit freezes. Banks limit withdrawals for stability. Cryptocurrencies tumble as investors rush for safety, but there's nowhere left to hide. The same financial systems that made people rich overnight now trap them in losses they can't escape. Companies that borrowed cheap money are now buried in debt. Households that stretch their credit are collapsing under interest rates they can't afford. Governments print to save the system, but every dollar they create only fuels inflation, making the pain worse. Within weeks, the illusion of prosperity is gone. Just like in 1929, confidence evaporates. But this time, it's instant. One global market, one connected system, one synchronized fall. You wake up and everything looks the same. But the value of everything you own has changed. History didn't repeat, it evolved. The crash isn't just about money anymore, it's about control, about who gets to rebuild the system and who gets left out of it. Because when the dust settles, the people who control money will use this crisis to control everything else. And that's where the real story begins. When the dust finally settles, the world won't look the same. The crash doesn't end with markets. It ripples through everything. Jobs vanish, savings evaporate, prices skyrocket. Governments step in, not to help you, but to control the chaos. They introduce solutions, digital currencies, centralized banking controls, new economic systems for your safety. But here's the truth they won't say out loud. The system that broke is being rebuilt to make you more dependent than ever. They'll promise stability, but take away privacy. Promise security, but limit your freedom. Every transaction tracked, every purchase monitored. The money in your account? Programmable. They can freeze it, expire it, or decide what you can spend it on. Sound impossible? That's what people said before 1929 too. But history doesn't just repeat, it upgrades. The same powers who profited from every crisis before are already positioning themselves to own the next system. So what can you do? Start by seeing through the illusion. Stop trusting the headlines, study the patterns. Follow the money, not the noise. Learn how wealth actually moves before the crowd notices. Because the ones who prepare now will be the ones who survive what's coming next. This isn't fears, it's awareness. History has shown us what happens when people stay asleep. The question is, will you wake up this time? If you want to uncover how the next system is being built and who is really behind it, subscribe now. The next video exposes the truth they don't want you to see.